Another day and another crazy leak for BloomBurrow, the upcoming set. And guys, we've got to talk about this because this one has a lot more teeth to the card, and we have to discuss where this may be taking the BloomBurrow set. If you're not already excited about BloomBurrow, you're gonna be by the end of this video. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on the channel. A reminder before we start today's video that if you enjoy my content, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell. I put out new content every single day. And for those of you who hear this every day, I'm really sorry. I can't help myself. So now, BloomBurrow. We all know how excited I am for this set. We all know this is the one that the Moxman's been waiting for, as well as many players out there this year. And if you weren't excited, you're gonna be. Because the card we're going to share with you today, number one, the fact it's a land already gets you going. But this also points to the direction that Wizards of the Coast is taking. The focal point, although this is a standard set, still seems driven toward Commander, as we'll dive into here just in a second. But this also means we're going to see heightened sales. So if you're an LGS out there, I hope you've got your pre-orders locked in. I hope you know your allocation numbers, because I think things are going to get a little bit crazy. But enough of this. Let me show you the card we're going to talk about today, and then we'll talk about what some of the repercussions of sets like this mean going forward. Some lands are just generic, and in this upcoming BloomBurrow set, this is not one of them. Let me introduce you to the 3-Tree City. Yeah, this can be a tongue twister to say, so bear with me here. Now, this card is a legendary land, and I have recognized this is horrible image quality. We'll have to bear with it for a minute. Don't worry, I've taken it. You can pause this for a moment, but I've also written it out for us so we can continue our conversation. So, the 3-Tree City. It's a legendary land, and when it enters, you choose a creature type. You can either tap to add colors to your mana pool, or you can tap 2 and choose a color and add an amount of mana of that color equal to the number of creatures you control of that creature type. And don't worry, it's not deja vu. If you think you recognize certain elements of this card from other Magic cards, you're totally correct. I'm going to share those with you. Take a look at these. Here's a more recent printing of Cabal Coffers. It now is a mythic. Now, this card is a land that says 2. Tap to add 1 black mana for each swamp you control. So you can really ramp up a lot of additional mana with this particular card, just like we're seeing with the 3-Tree City. Now, this in itself is not a bad idea, but there's something else that follows through with this card that just takes another element from a very old Urza block card. And that, of course, is going to be Gaia's Cradle, which says tap to add 1 green mana to your mana pool for each creature you control. Now, of course, 3-Tree City is slightly different, and in some ways, it's a very powerful variant of this exact card. It's great when they take twists on reserve list cards. Now let's take a look at 3-Tree City one last time. You can see all those elements combined. Yes, you get the Cabal Coffers thing with choosing the color, not black in this case, but any color you want. And you get to add an amount of mana of that color equal to the number of creatures you control. So it's not being specific like Gaia's Cradle. There's a lot going on with this card, and it means a lot to the future of Magic. I know. Take a moment. Take in what I just showed you. Pause the video, go back, look again. Cabal Coffers mixed with Gaia's Cradle. A reserve list card concept, twisted with a card that already exists and not on the reserve list, but they've mixed these two concepts together into a unique, legendary land card. How desirable that card is going to be will depend on how players can find uses for it. But the idea that this fits into all kinds of commander decks that rely on token generation means it's already going to have a built-in audience. The fact it plays on reserve list concepts and ideas from 30 years ago that we know are overpowered. There's a reason why Tolarian Academy hasn't been unbanned, right? So these kind of ideas of cards, and the fact they bring them back up again, with a slight twist, a little twist of lime on the side, means players will recognize the value, especially older school players who will see these cards for what they are. And these things are going to be hot items. In my mind, I look at that card and I say, how many ways can I break that card? How many ways can I twist this around to make my deck just that much better for my Throwbold Commander deck? And that's what a lot of players are going to see when they look at that card. And yes, the fact you can play this in Standard still, you could put 4 of those in your deck. Yeah, it's legendary. It's not going to stop you from having 4. because you know one might get destroyed, or you want to make sure the variants of that card coming up more often and is more prevalent in your deck, of course it makes sense. Add some token generation, some Eldrazi, some other crazy things going on, and before you know it, you've got something that you can't wait to deck test out to play against opponents. And it's all because of the 3-Tree City, which still kind of reminds me of the imagery from Watership Down, doesn't it? Put that in the comments section. If you made it this far in the video, there's something about that. But let's take a step back and recognize what Wizards of the Coast has done. They have opened up the playbook to reserve list cards, 101, looked at it and said, right there, Chapter 7, imitate a reserve list card in a unique way that doesn't break the reserve list, players will come running. I think this is going to help make the set that much more successful. Now, you think it'd be weird for the Moxman to make a comment like that. You have no idea what the rest of these cards are. How can you say that? I can say that because I've seen that card, Gaia's Cradle. I've seen that card, Cabal Coffers, and they're used all the time. Now you're comboing them together, and you think players aren't going to jump at a chance to buy that card and put it in a deck and make it work for them? Insanity, right? That's where I'm going with this. Great card, great idea. Loving the look of BloomBurrow. My excitement is getting kind of pumped up there. And this is all because Wizards of the Coast recognizes their market, recognizes what they are in control of, and when they want to guarantee success, they always seem to go back to copying reserve list card ideas. They may present it a different way. They add that twist of lime and say it's something new. They're not breaching the reserve list, but they have put a twist on something that players will recognize and desire. Players are going to want to go after that card and own it. Now, what does that mean going forward? The more success that BloomBurrow finds, the more Wizards of the Coast will take a look at what was inside that set, like they did for Modern Horizons and Modern Horizons 2. They look inside and say, what sold well? What's going on in the secondary market? What are the top 10 decks? Where are these things being played? What's that secondary market value again? Bring it all back, Rick. Take it back to page 1. Let's do this again. Rip it up. Let's get the printers going. Let's be successful. But now we'll choose a different card. Just like they did with Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, right? Successful card, very popular in Modern Horizons 2, but the price sunk because they haven't given us the rest of that color wheel. They can dangle this over our heads. They've given us now a version we can use for any color. They're not dangling it. They're making it a keychain that you can wear and enjoy. It is the perfect item to add to a new set, to make sure that it stands out to players and says, this is a card that you are going to want, because it gives you any color of a certain creature type that you're going to be using. I've got 5 of these black creatures, I get 5 black mana. I got 5 of the green creatures, I get 5 green mana. Yes, it costs 2 to use, but there's lots of ways of manipulating that around. And there's lots of ways of generating a lot more than 5 tokens, isn't there, of a certain color. So when I look at that card, I'm looking at it saying, I know what you are. You're not disguising away from me. I recognize the spy that you are. You're coming in as a Trojan horse, and you're going to be awesome. And the sales of BloomBurrow will go off well, even higher than I probably am anticipating in my head. I'm going to have to revamp my numbers if I think it's going to be as bad as I think it is. And that means that a lot of players are going to be buying this card and other cards like it. This is just a couple of little tiny trickles down the path. We don't know the whole set yet. We don't know what they've done. There'll be lots of boring chaff. There'll be lots of good uncommons, mark my word. And there'll be some good rares and probably quite a few decent mythics. Because if this is the path they've taken so far with the cards we've seen, this is different than what I saw for Modern Horizons 3. We all know I didn't like that price. I didn't like the reprints. This set is different. And there's something about it right now, and it's not just the cool imagery. They've put more into this that is commander-oriented, but it also will work in standard, and they are going the extra mile, it looks like, at least so far. My hopes are up here now instead of down here. I was kind of like excited but level-headed. It's going over my head now, guys. I want to know where you guys take this, where you think this is going, and why Wizards of the Coast did this. Maybe you have a different take on things. Maybe you just agree with what I'm saying. And by the way, I do think I'm right. Of course, it's my video. I'm putting it out here for you. If you're this late in the video, you know how I am. And we'll see where it goes. And before I end things off, I want you guys to know, have an awesome day in the world of Magic the Gathering. I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow, because maybe we got another leak. This thing's crazy. It's awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the day. Hey guys, welcome back to the end of the video, and a big shout out. The thank you that you've all been waiting for the patrons. the YouTube membership members, the regular viewers who tune in every day and give these videos thumbs up. Guys, because of you, I'm able to make these videos every day. That kind of encouragement and enjoyment we all get together by looking at Magic the Gathering as a great, amazing game, it's because of you. Have a great one. Come on. Come on. You saw that, right? I'm going to buy it now. Nothing can stop me. I got to experience this firsthand. These hands are going to get muddy opening up BloomBurrow. And I don't mind. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. Guys, that is crazy. By the way, the stickers are ordered and they're on the way. My sticker person has put things together. So the Ramble Jamble stickers will be here. I can't wait to display them to you guys. So, guys, this is crazy because this kind of success can lead to a lot of things. It can lead to a lot of concepts and card ideas. And I'll discuss that more in later videos when I see a few more cards start vamping up. But the fact this has already overtaken what's going on with Assassin's Creed is insane. I was going to do this as a late night video, but I really broke this one into a more full, full-figured video where I wanted to discuss kind of what will happen with a card like this, because that is important to recognize. It's not that Ugin's Labyrinth's not a good card. It's great, but it's not in standard. It's not just sitting there waiting to be used in all kinds of crazy decks that players are going to get to play with when BloomBurrow comes out, and existing token generation we already have inside of standard right now. So this is going to be a fun card that's going to see a lot of play in a lot of different ways. And we still have upcoming sets. This thing will be in rotation for years, and it's going to be sought after, I think, for a while. Now, if people disagree with me, we'll see, but this is one of those ones where I kind of go, 1 point for Wizards. Just ching. Can't help it, guys. One of those cards that blows my mind. But at the end, I just want to remind you guys that this kind of stuff can be a hook, but we don't have to take the bait and buy boxes. You can just get the singles, look for the individual cards, and it will be around a lot longer than what we've seen with other cards, right? Like this has gone on longer because it's a standard set. And they're probably well aware how good this is going to do as a set, how well it's going to perform. Whereas you have things like Modern Horizons 3, which are too expensive. But by the way, Modern Horizons 5 will probably have that card as a reprint in there somewhere. Yeah, you'll see. Anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out here with the Mox, man. You guys go, play, have fun. It's good. No, it's raining. I was going to say it's good weather, but it's raining. It's not good weather. Stay inside. Read a book. Help your parents clean up. I saw that back there. You think I didn't see you just put that dish in the sink and not wipe it off and help clean up? Yeah. I'm watching you.